Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So if you've ever looked at a beautiful piece of twisted woven wire jewelry and thought, how on earth do they make that? Well, today is your lucky day. We are diving into an incredible book called Weave, Wrap, Coil, Creating Artisan Wire Jewelry by Jody Bombardier. I'm going to walk you through everything it covers, from the very basics to some seriously stunning advanced projects. And honestly, the best part? You can craft these breathtaking pieces right at your kitchen table. You don't need some expensive studio. There's no kiln required, no crazy casting setup. All you need is some wire, a few hand tools, and the right knowledge. So let's build that up together. Here's the roadmap for our journey today. We'll start with the wire weaving revolution, then move into mastering wire and tools, hit those core jewelry techniques, and finally, your creative journey. And hey, if you're a total beginner, don't sweat it. We're going to build your confidence incrementally here.
All right, Section 1, the wire weaving revolution. Let's look at this hot new trend. Be honest with me for a second. How many times have you stared at a complex wire pendant in a boutique and just wondered, how did a human being actually make that? Well, today we are totally demystifying that process. Jody's book is a literal game changer in the crafting world. Whether you're brand new to this or you've been dabbling in jewelry making for a while, the techniques we're unpacking today will absolutely change how you approach wire. And you know, the origin story behind all of this is just fascinating. Jody's a self-taught artist who started out doing memory wire, some basic stringing, chainmail, but she fell so deeply in love with wire weaving that she literally went to the library to study actual basket making. Like weaving real physical baskets. She figured out how to translate those traditional techniques directly into wire jewelry. It's such a fresh approach, and it led to the 27 unique projects we're going to break down for you.
Okay, moving right along to Section 2, Mastering Wire and Tools. Let's talk about your materials.
Look, before you ever pick up a pair of pliers, you have to understand your medium. We're dealing with three fundamental elements here. Wire gauges, wire tempers, meaning dead soft, half hard, or hard, and the different types of metals. Understanding these three things is absolutely crucial. For instance, Jody almost exclusively uses dead soft wire for weaving and coiling. Why? Because it's the most malleable. It's incredibly easy to weave in, out, and around thicker wire frames without it constantly springing back at you.
Now here's a totally counterintuitive fact that surprises almost every beginner. Wire gauges actually work backward. Yeah, the smaller the number, the thicker the wire. So a 16-gauge wire is much thicker and perfectly used for sturdy structural frames. On the flip side, a 26-gauge wire is very thin, which makes it perfect for delicate weaving around those frames. For most of the projects we're looking at, you'll be working right in that 16 to 26-gauge sweet spot.
So, what about the metals themselves? You've got a few main options. Copper is the absolute favorite for a lot of artists, including Jody, because it's highly workable and super cost-effective. Craft wire is great too, since it's coated, doesn't tarnish, and comes in tons of colors. Brass is beautiful, but fair warning, it can be pretty stiff and challenging. And then there's sterling silver, which is your premium finish. Now, listen to this brilliant money-saving hack from Jody. Always, always practice your designs in dead soft copper or craft wire first. Trust me, doing this will save you a ton of frustration and keep you from wasting really expensive sterling silver while you're still learning. Let's see how all this builds into our toolkit. And I want to lower the intimidation factor for you right now. Yes, there are professional tools you'll eventually want, like flush cutters for clean cuts, or nylon-jaw pliers that straighten wire without leaving any nasty tool marks. But here's the secret. You do not need expensive mandrels to shape your jewelry. Ordinary household items like permanent markers, ballpoint pens, crochet hooks, and even knitting needles work beautifully as hacks for shaping wire into perfectly round coils. Honestly, you probably have half your toolkit sitting in your desk drawer right now. Oh, and here is another shocking truth that is going to delight you. You might think that these delicate woven wire pieces are incredibly fragile, right? Actually, finished woven wire pieces can easily be polished in a rotary tumbler. You just throw them in with some stainless steel shot and a little bit of soak, and your piece will come out gleaming, perfectly hardened, and looking completely professional. No way, right? But it works.
Which brings us to Section 3, Core Jewelry Techniques. This right here is the beating heart of our explainer.
This is where we undergo our training and really learn to manipulate the wire. Everything starts with the foundation, from simple loops all the way up to those stunning basket weaves. And pay attention to the wire template trick Jody teaches. Creating a simple little template ensures you get consistent, perfect loops every single time you make a bend.
It's exactly these kinds of small methodical steps that separate amateur work from true artisan mastery.
Let's compare two of those foundational skills for a second. Simple loops are a fantastic starting point, but Jody's expert advice, you should graduate to wrapped loops as soon as you possibly can. I know they look much more complex, but wrapped loops actually become much easier to execute than simple loops once you get the hang of it. Plus, they provide vastly superior security for your finished pieces, meaning your jewelry won't just pull apart during everyday wear.
Now, the real magic happens when you start weaving that thin 26-gauge wire. Check this out. Step 1, you master the base weave pattern. Step 2, you make just a tiny, slight variation in how you route that wire. And Step 3, boom, you suddenly produce a totally fresh, entirely new look. With just a little patience and finesse, one single basic technique can be manipulated into literally endless unique textures. It's like a giant puzzle.
Of course, an artisan piece isn't truly done until the professional finishing touches are applied. We're talking about forging or hammering your wire to harden it, filing off the sharp edges, and sanding. But what really elevates a piece to that next level is a patina. Applying a chemical like Liver of Sulfur darkens the deep, recessed areas of your weave. When you polish the high spots back to a shine, it instantly gives the jewelry this incredibly expensive, antique, high-end look. It makes all that intricate texture just completely pop.
All right, let's step into Section 4, your creative journey. This is the boss fight, where we apply everything we've learned.
The beauty of this curriculum is that it isn't about just throwing you into the deep end and hoping you swim. The journey is a carefully structured, tiered leveling system. It guides your skills to 3 distinct phases: beginner foundational skills, intermediate complex compositions, and finally, advanced master designs. It is basically a complete masterclass, all crafted into one logical flow.
Let's actually walk through that progression. You'll start out with straightforward beginner pieces, like the elegant diamond pendant or the Ocean Waves bracelet, just to lock in your foundation. Then, you step it up to intermediate designs like the Sublime Dreams bracelet, where you begin mixing your wrapping and coiling techniques together. And finally, you reach the advanced tier with breathtaking pieces like the Illusion cuff and the incredible Key to My Steampunk heart.
When you put all of this together, that is when the magic truly happens. By mastering that basic basket weave we talked about, the one inspired by actual library books on baskets, you directly empower yourself to build what are called mystery designs. These are those advanced, intricate pieces, and they're called mystery designs because they are so insanely complex that their construction isn't obvious just by looking at them. But you will know the secret. You'll know it's really just basic weaving, layered masterfully.
And there you have it. You've seen the tools, the techniques, and the stunning journey ahead of you. The mystery of artisan wire jewelry is officially solved. But a new question remains. Now that you realize you have the power to weave metal with your own 2 hands, what will your first creation be? Seriously, grab some affordable copper wire, a couple of simple tools, and take your first creative step today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy wire bending.